Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, and my friends, it's my honor to talk to you about the latest Marvel vs. fighting game. And no, it's not versus Capcom. Why would it be versus Capcom? That's old and busted. Marvel Comics and Arc System Works is the tag team behind your latest Marvel vs. fighting game. And let's keep shaking things up here, right? So 3v3, it's been done. 2v2, well, that's what 2XKO is doing, right? Let them do their own thing. So how about we do 4 versus 4? This is Arc System Works after all. We don't do things in half measures around here. Remember that Guilty Gear 3 versus 3 mode? Well, spoiler, it was sort of in preparation for this. So what is this called exactly? It's not just Marvel vs. arcsys, is it? No, that wouldn't ring quite as good as Marvel vs. Capcom. Naturally, it's Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. The old MTFS. If you got used to 2XKO, you'll get used to this. It's not the best, I know, but if the gameplay is snappy, the name doesn't need to be. And the gameplay here, as far as I'm aware, this is all in-engine actual gameplay. This is the gameplay debut of the game. They've been working on it for a while. In fact, Inside Baseball, I've actually known about this game for about a year now. Didn't know much about it other than it existed, though. And arcsys, let me tell you, when you copyright striked me not too long ago, I was awful friggin' tempted to let the world know. But you know what? Cooler heads prevailed, so we have our cool surprise now. I've never leaked anything yet. No point in starting now until at least, I leak the new Primal Rage game a couple years from now. Ha ha ha, is he joking? Is he joking? You'll have to find out, I guess. So yeah, you may notice this is obviously, gameplay-wise, a versus game as we would title it, but this is not strictly versus arcsys. This is an entire Marvel roster. And what characters do we have so far shown in this trailer? Star-Lord, Doctor Doom, Marvel Girl, Captain America, Spider-Man, Storm, Ghost Rider, and Iron Man. I think that's a pretty good overall roster, and there's definitely a few characters where you gotta be like, probably gonna show up one way or another. Like Hulk. Hulk's a pretty safe bet, I think. And when is this coming out? Oh, it's coming out next year. Next year! This has been in development longer than you might think, so it's not too far away in the grand scheme of things. Now, don't worry, we're going to do the thing we do best here on the channel. We're going to break down all the gameplay and try to figure out what's going on. But also, on top of this initial announcement trailer, they had a little bit of a, well, documentary is probably a strong term for it, but some more info about the game itself. And also we get more footage here, like, hey, Marvel Girl, or is it Captain Marvel, or is it Shazam? But yeah, more gameplay anyways. And we get a lovely little behind the scenes here, just, how some of the characters are animated. And there is more information on the game besides just what's in this video. So let me tell you, 1, will the game be simple inputs or will it be classical fighting game inputs? And apparently it will be both. Via PlayStation blog, generally a team versus fighting game requires the player to learn multiple characters, but for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, you need only master one character in order to play the game. We have designed the mechanics in such a way you can perform a variety of actions with either traditional fighting game inputs or simple inputs. With the press of a few buttons, multiple characters can appear on screen to provide backup or attack together, creating new and exciting team versus experience. So yeah, before you get scared, don't worry, we're going to break down the gameplay after this. The traditional versus stuff is still there, but it seems like how you want to manage the team is going to be an option available for you. Either, more classical team building experience or like one primary character with the assists. At least that's what I'm getting out of this. Also, as far as the look goes here, and the same thing here on PlayStation blog, it states that arcsys was trying to make a more Western style, and Marvel went to them like, no, do your thing. And so they're focusing more on a Japanimation style look. Their words, not mine. But yeah, so there's a lot more to come. The game does launch next year. And yes, this appears to be a PlayStation exclusive. PlayStation is helping with the development of the game. Now, that said, it still will be on PC because that's how things go these days. Even if you have a console exclusive, you will be on PC. But no Xbox, no Switch 2. Now, that all said, let's rewind back to the beginning of the trailer here, and let's try to suss out some of the gameplay. So gameplay, the game looks sharp, clean, and good like you would expect. You can see here Iron Man basically like doing like a magic series into a special, into a beam, and then already, look, it's our first gameplay mechanic. We have a tech, an air tech to be specific. Also, don't think I don't see you, Dazzler. Dazzler deconfirmed already? I don't know, but there you go. Also, don't think I don't see you, J. Jonah Jameson. So the stages are going to be full of stuff for sure. More gameplay. Hey, Iron Man has an air dash. Who would have thought, right? And he gets hit by Captain America, I'm assuming 2H, something like that, and has a big cinematic launching effect to it. It's going to be a very airborne game, to be sure. The skybox, as you can see, goes all the way up there, and we're going to have some big-time air combos. Also, while we're up here, hi Avengers Tower and Baxter Building. I see you. So big air combo, spike down, ground bounce, recombo, what you would expect. Hey, let's call an assist. And now some of y'all might groan, I don't know. But active tag is very much a thing, as you can see here. So Miss Marvel, Marvel Girl, come on, like what? I can't remember her name. What? I'm gonna have to Google this. Okay, I just got back. It's Miss Marvel apparently. So Miss Marvel, yeah, does the assist, a big old bonk, active tag in. Now this is the playable character. So, 2x KO, Hunter x Hunter net impact. Active tag is just how things are gonna be done from now on, I guess. More gameplay mechanics. Looks like spot dodges are in. So Miss Marvel avoids all these rockets and avoids Iron Man's attack. So looks like, dodge with invincibility, like in, some games like, say, King of Fighters. How about named mechanics? Why, naturally, it's the old crossover system. So this looks kind of like active defense. Maybe you might want to call it an alpha counter. So blocks the hit, and then the tag partner knocks Miss Marvel away, but Spider-Man was not the active player at the moment. Did the hit, Iron Man still the active player, does Unibeam, then tags into the Spider-Man player while Spider-Man's on the screen, right? So maybe this is something you can't do if you don't have teammates alive. But hey, spot dodges, alpha counters, we got defensive mechanics at least. And call Unibeam, tag into Spider-Man, well, we're gonna keep that combo going, ain't we? And this coming up here, I like this a lot. So Spider Sense is a thing! Basically, it's a bog standard fighting game counter stance, but it's Spider-Man to Spider Sense. It makes sense, it's thematic, it's good, I like it. Also, after given the big old boot here, can call Iron Man assist for recombo, and well, just keep the offense going. Also, how about some Guilty Gear Strive technology here? We got arena shifts. So, very dramatic, as you can see here. Kind of taking a page out of Injustice, actually, because Injustice is very famous for these kind of stage shift sort of moves, right? Blowing up a bunch of cars and then going to the next area. And here's an interesting gameplay sequence here because a bunch of stuff's going on. So one, Spider-Man has web swing, as you would expect. So Miss Marvel blocks while the assist is live. So Cap bonks Spider-Man with the shield, and she gets to juggle him, and she has like stretchy powers. So, Scorpion, get over here, if you will. Cap still on screen, tags into Star-Lord. Star-Lord does a hit, active tag out. So Star-Lord is now the playable character. Go into Super. And hell of gunshots, because, that's sort of what Star-Lord does. With a big old cannon to finish things off. This might be some sort of flight rather than just a regular jump, because the boots are going off here. I don't know for sure, I guess. Speculating. And then we get, kind of basic combos here, like, hit, launch. In the air, has the freeze, and you can recombo from the freeze on the ground. Here's Spidey dodges, but it's not the Spider Sense we saw earlier in the trailer. So this might be another potentially universal mechanic, because it does have like a shadow glowy effect. And then, hey, it's Ghost Rider, eat chain. He was the assist call, then gets active tagged into, and well, Ghost Rider does about what you would think here. So fire and chains, and then we get another area shift. So back through like a pile of like steel and rebar. So just like Strive, big, wide areas, lots of like stages per stage, if you will. Seemingly like a bit of like ABC combos. I'm assuming that's a special for Ghost Rider. So, A, B, launch, spike down. We get an assist call, and then we get another assist call. And yeah, you better believe Dr. Doom's in here, and he looks so good. I was expecting him to do his Marvel 3 throw here, but no. Different game, different game. So now we get a little bit of a Doom showcase, and Doom, obviously, given the recent movies, is going to be kind of a big deal. We see here what must be a super, got a little bit of a cinematic pose, and then just blap to the head. And it's effective. Now, I do like this here. So, a couple things happening. One, so Doom sets up the laser and, well, sort of evokes hidden missiles, basically, right? Because if the laser's on you, you know something's going to come down, and then it's the same horrible fear of hidden missiles. And Doom does an air dash, and it's effectively like a teleport. And while this is going, does the Star-Lord call? I'm assuming Ghost Rider blocks wrong during the cross-up here, and assist hits, and then the laser hits as well. So big launch up. Ghost Rider air recovers. Probably shouldn't have done that because now you're getting air thrown. And this looks amazing, by the way. A+ graphics. And here sets up another laser. And now, is this going to be like classic Marvel here? Is this our MASH defense assist? See here, Doom does the air dash again. He just gets ripped out of the air, right? If Storm is like a frame 1 invuln DP assist, she's on my team. I'll just say that. Especially because does the DP assist, and you can see here, active tags in the Storm, and right after the active tag, I got you, multi-hitting, easy hit confirmable move, Cinematic Super! Sends Doom flying high up into that skybox. And wait a second, that skybox, you know who that is, right? Big green guy, tentacles, why that's our buddy, Gargantos. And yes, you might think it's Gargantos, but it's actually Gargantos. I wish this was a bit. So yeah, Shumagorath has been retconned officially now into Gargantos in this Marvel vs. Capcom toy theme line. They couldn't be bothered to talk to the Robert E. Howard estate because technically Shumagorath is a Conan character, not a Marvel character. But couldn't be bothered, so, you know, Gargantos and Wolverine versus Magneto and Dr. Doom, you know, the favorite classic matchup. And yes, we all know arcsys knows their stuff, but Storm looks so good. Oh my god. Between this and Marvel Rivals, if you've been a Storm fan, like, you've been eating good. And then, like, look at the combo. So we're doing sort of like an ABC launch. We get him in the air. We fly down. Bounces Doom. We can rejuggle from the bounce. Very amazing looking lightning orb, right? Like the lighting, the graphics, the art style, everything's so good. And then we're highlighting the madness, right? So look how many things are going on the screen. This is definitely going to be one of those kinds of versus games. Madness will reign for sure. Screen's going to be full of all kinds of trash, and I mean that in the best, most positive and loving way. And like, look at this. We even have like tag team combos. So tag into a bop, into a tag, into a bop, spike down to the ground, and then it's like Avengers Assemble. Everyone just hits them all at once. That's super cool. That's awesome. Also, take a look at our probable first install because Iron Man has Hulkbuster. And he looks like he's going to do some stuff. Miss Marvel can grow giant size. I'm assuming that's for supers. Peter can just slam crap into you. Doom's got a whole legion of Doom bots to sick on you. Like, the aesthetic is out of this world. They're doing it right. That's really all I can say. You want a stylish looking game, you hire Arc System Works. They know a thing or two about a thing or two. Only real questions are, you know, when can we see more, right? It is coming out next year, so it can't be that long out, right? I would assume, at very least, you know, maybe another trailer at EVO. Sony does own EVO after all, and this is a Sony product game. Probably a good place for it. Also, we got a little bit more here. So it looks like Miss Marvel's our grappler, because this is definitely a command grab if I ever saw one. Kind of reminiscent of like Waldstein in Under Night and Birth, I guess. And that's sort of what we know for now. So, which is admittedly not too much, but room to improve, right? I'm sure there'll be a lot more trailers, a lot more breakdowns, a lot more everything as the hype cycle begins. Because I've already seen the early freaking out on Twitter, and people are hype. Everyone wanted Marvel 4. This definitely isn't how a lot of people didn't think it was going to go this way, right? Because this is Marvel 4 in terms of versus, but this is obviously not Marvel versus Capcom, because it is Arc System Works. And it makes you think, you know, not so much this game, but if Marvel doesn't work with Capcom, Capcom's got to work with somebody else now, so it's about time we get the dust off on the old Capcom versus SNK 3, right? We got to make it the early 2000s all over again. But yeah, you know, Marvel is Marvel. It'll, like, the license sells itself. We don't got to go there, right? And arcsys obviously did pretty damn well with Strive. Strive's their best performing game by a mile. You know, put Guilty Gear on the map, and, you know, some old timers, maybe they didn't like the way that they did it, but, you know, they did it to great success. So if you're looking for someone who just isn't Capcom to make this kind of game, I think arcsys can do it. This is very much them stepping up for the big leagues, because this very likely will be their biggest game of all time. And will it be kind of like stupid, bad, broken at launch? But like, yes, maybe, but in like the positive, happy way. You want a versus game to be kind of stupid gameplay wise, right? It's not going to be some austere, footsies based, fundamental based game for sure, especially when it's 4 versus 4. So if you got 3 assists instead of 2, like, this stuff's just going to be bananas from the outset. As far as like team building goes, what they meant by the fact that you didn't necessarily have to play the whole team, if it's going to be like KOF 2001 and Strikers or some weird stuff like that, remains to be seen in time. There'll be more news for sure. But my friends, that's the news for now, and that's it for the video. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. That's going to be weird to say. We're going to have to workshop that one.
This is the love making.